Let me tell you about the builder who swore they'd never install another Skylight again. It's all about 10 years ago. This builder deleted every single Skylight from their home designs. It's too many defects, too many callbacks, a risk was too much, there was no reward. Fast forward to today, they're now Skylights, standard inclusion, minimum 2. Some displays 5, 10, we've had 16 on some of their homes. Flooded with natural light. Not only that, they're winning awards for design, for best homes, for the quality of their builds, and they're selling faster than ever. So what changed? It wasn't the builder's commitment to quality, it wasn't a demand for Skylights in particular, there was a confidence that Skylights no longer had to be a liability. I'm Jono Anderson from Luxworld, and we believe that the products we make should outlive their warranties and not expire with them. Today I want to tell you a story of one honest conversation, one bold guarantee, and one builder willing to challenge conventional wisdom to turn the product they once refused to use into one of their greatest design advantages. You know, there's some conversations you just don't forget, and this was one of them. I first sat down when I first met this particular builder, and the first thing he said to me before we even got into anything, he said, "Don't even bother, never installing another Skylight again. We don't want them in our designs at all." Not, "Oh, we'll think about it, oh, I'll send us some pricing, we'll consider it." Just, they all leak. Full stop. End of conversation. Well, almost end of conversation. I understood where he's coming from. For years, the industry had kind of taught builders that Skylights are a liability, a risk that they carry that someone else installs for them. It leaks, there's warranty claims, installers disappear, there's callbacks, damaged ceilings, drain on supervision, reducing your margins, increasing your risk. And when you're building 50, 100, hundreds of homes each year, all these things add up, and that's a big cost and a big liability. So this particular builder had done what many builders had done before. Simply cut your liabilities, cut your risk. Removed all the Skylights from the designs. No Skylights, no roof penetrations, no leaks. Problem solved. So they thought. But as we talked, I didn't argue, I just wanted to listen. I wanted to understand how they got to that decision. Then once I understood it, I said, look, let me make you a promise. Let me install 2 Skylights on your place. If they leak, I'll replace your whole roof. I'll repair all the internal damage. Never hear from us again. It was a big promise because I knew exactly what our systems were capable of. After a moment, he agreed. What did he really have to lose? He only had things to gain. A couple of free Skylights on his home. Now that was over 10 years ago. We're still waiting for that callback. Not because he forgot, but because they never leaked. But the real story isn't that one home, it's what happened afterwards. As his confidence grew, Skylights slowly returned to their designs. Then they became the feature. Then they became their design advantage. And they became a standard. Till today, virtually every home has a minimum of 2 Skylights. Many of their larger homes have 8 to 10 Skylights, some up to 16. And not because Skylights are fashionable, but because they became reliable. And something remarkable happened. Those homes felt different. When you walked into their displays, they felt bigger, brighter, warmer, more connected. You see, natural light has this amazing ability to change people's experience of a home. Buyers don't always walk in saying, "Oh, I love the Skylights, I'm going to buy it because of the Skylights." No, they walk in, they just go, "This feels right. This feels like home. This feels warm." And sometimes they can't explain why, but they feel it. And at the end of the day, it's those emotions that sell the homes. And over this last decade, this builder has grown from a small respected local volume builder to a nationally recognised multi-award winning builder across multiple categories, including design and quality of their builds. Now, I'm certainly not suggesting Skylights built that business, but it was one of 100 small decisions. You see, outstanding builders become outstanding because they get 1,000 small things right. But I do believe this is one of those decisions, one that helps set their homes apart, one that removed fear from the design process, one that allowed them to create brighter, healthier, more desirable homes, and actually became a point of difference for this particular builder. For me, the biggest lesson isn't actually about the skylights, it's about the assumptions. Yeah, sometimes an entire industry accepts something is true just because that's how it's always been. Skylights leak. That's part of the deal, or so it's been told. But what if the real problem wasn't the assumption? What if it was simply poor design, bad selection? Or what if products weren't actually built to last? Because when you solve a root problem, when you take things back to first principles, that's really what everything changes. And that's really what happened here. One builder was willing to challenge a long-held belief. One honest conversation opened that door. One bold guarantee built that trust, and that trust turned what had once been seen as a liability into a competitive advantage. And if you're a builder, if you're an architect, a roofer, designer, and you've ever written off a product because of a bad experience or what you've been told, I'd encourage you to take it back to one question. Has that product really failed? Or has the engineering, has the design finally caught up? Does it have inbuilt obsolescence? Sometimes the biggest opportunities in our industry aren't found by following conventional wisdom. They're found by having an honest conversation, taking things back to first principles and saying, just because it's always been done this way, is that how it's got to be done? Just because this has always been the outcomes, do we have to accept these outcomes ongoing? Or can we change it? Can we change it to become an asset rather than a liability? If you want to find out more about how you can create assets from liabilities, tune in for our next episode. We'll see you soon.